One guy who left the World Cup with more fans and respect than ever before was Erling Haaland.
Support from Muller-Wolfer, and in there was Haaland! It's taken him less than half an hour to score his first ever World Cup goal.
This was his first appearance in a World Cup. Fabulous to see that. A debut in a World Cup, you get a goal. First ever Norwegian to score a double in a World Cup game, which is quite an achievement as well.
The 6'5" giant with long blonde hair completely stole the spotlight. One of my buddies actually got in trouble with his girl because she saw him follow a long-haired blonde on Instagram and she thought he was following another girl. It turns out he was following Haaland. For 6 straight weeks, Haaland scored for fun. He dominated sports talk shows.
He's unguardable. He's unmarkable. He's 6'5". He runs like a gazelle. He has a burst of speed like Tyreek Hill in the NFL. And he has unbelievable footwork, like he told us earlier. And he's so powerful. I think he's one of the most unique athletes for his sport that I've ever seen.
Exploded across TikTok and Instagram, shattered YouTube viewing records, and even pulled in people who had never watched a football match before.
Of course, he scores all the time. He never played a World Cup game without scoring.
But then when he scored, Haaland, oh my god. I stopped breathing for a minute.
Everywhere you looked, there were fans wearing Viking helmets and waving Norwegian flags. For a few unforgettable weeks, Haaland was America's newest obsession. While Haaland might have been a new name to certain American fans, he had already been a household name in the sport way before the World Cup. Thanks to the Premier League's huge growth in the United States, millions of Americans were already waking up early every weekend to watch the Norwegian robot score. When Manchester City signed Haaland in the summer of 2022 for around 60 million euros, it looked like a great deal. A few months later, it looked like one of the greatest bargains in football history. His first season in England was absolutely ridiculous. Haaland led Manchester City to a historic treble, winning the Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League. Along the way, he broke the Premier League single-season scoring record by scoring 36 league goals in just 35 matches, beating a record that Andy Cole and Alan Shearer had held for almost 30 years. Across all competitions, he finished with an incredible 52 goals in 53 games. He swept up almost every major individual award, becoming the first player ever to win both the Premier League Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season in the same year. On top of that came the PFA Players Player of the Year, Football Writers Player of the Year, and UEFA Men's Player of the Year. By the time the 2026 World Cup arrived, Haaland had scored 172 goals in 207 matches for Manchester City. He became the fastest player in Premier League history to reach both 50 goals and 100 goals, smashing records that many thought would never be touched. In the Champions League, he reached 50 goals in just 49 games, blowing past Ruud van Nistelrooy's previous record of 62 matches. He also picked up 3 Premier League Golden Boots in 4 seasons, and carried Norway back to the World Cup for the first time in 28 years, scoring an incredible 16 goals in just 8 qualifying games. At this point, millions of fans had watched him bully defenders, celebrate with the meditation pose, and see him mock Arsenal. But since he had never played in a major international tournament, a lot of casuals didn't know who he was, or they knew his name but had never watched him play. All of that changed at the 2026 World Cup. Now, one of the biggest reasons Haaland became such a hit in America had nothing to do with football tactics. It was the way he looked. You see, European football fans often fall in love with players because of their technique, vision, or footballing IQ. American sports fans appreciate those things too, but they've always had a special obsession with athletes who look like they're built differently. Think about LeBron James bulldozing through defenders, Derrick Henry trucking NFL linebackers, or Ohtani throwing 100 miles per hour fastballs before switching up and launching baseballs into orbit himself. That's the kind of athlete America loves. So when Haaland showed up at the 2026 World Cup, many casual American fans did not see a typical footballer or soccer player as they call it. They saw a 6'5", nearly 200-pound athletic freak who moved like someone half his size. It almost didn't make sense. Haaland had been clocked running 60 meters in just 6.62 seconds. For comparisons, Norway's national record is 6.55 seconds, meaning he's only a fraction of a second slower than one of the fastest sprinters his country has ever produced. This guy's also doing it on grass, wearing football cleats, and carrying almost 200 pounds on that frame. Once he gets going, yeah, good luck trying to stop him. He combines that speed with incredible strength, making him almost impossible to knock off the ball. Add in his towering height and explosive leap, and he becomes just as dangerous in the air as he is running in behind defenders. Then there's his finishing. Before the 2026 World Cup, Haaland had already scored dozens of headers for Manchester City and was outperforming his expected goals by an enormous margin, showing that he could consistently finish chances at a level most strikers simply can't match. Whether it was a delicate chip, a first-time finish, or a rocket off his left foot, he had a habit of making the impossible look routine. For an American audience that loves larger-than-life athletes doing unbelievable things, Haaland felt like he had been designed in a lab. He looked more like a superhero as opposed to a football star. Norway arrived at the 2026 World Cup as one of the tournament's underdogs. Drawn into a group with France, Senegal, and Iraq, most people expected them to put up a fight before heading home in the next few rounds. Haaland had other plans. Against Iraq, he scored twice before halftime, helping Norway cruise to a 4-1 win. The second match against Senegal was a completely different challenge. It turned into a physical battle from the first minute, but Haaland seemed to enjoy every second of it. He bullied defenders, won aerial duels, and scored another 2 goals in a 3-2 win that guaranteed Norway a place in the knockout rounds with a game to spare. He didn't play in the next game because Norway rested all of their players versus France, so we have to fast forward to the round of 32 match against Ivory Coast. The game looked destined for extra time. Then in the 88th minute, Haaland did what Haaland always seems to do.
Oh, it's a lovely ball for Berg, for Haaland.
Oh, what a goal. Had to be him.
That goal set up the biggest match in Norwegian football history, a round of 16 showdown versus the 5-time world champions Brazil. For many, this was supposed to be the end to Norway's fairy tale. Instead, it became Haaland's masterclass.
Oh, wonderful! He has nailed it for Norway!
Well, Norway have won 4 of their 5 matches at this World Cup. Haaland has scored the winner in all 4.
Norway's incredible run finally came to an end in the quarterfinals against England, but even in defeat, Haaland had become one of the faces of the tournament, ending 4th in the Golden Boot race. More importantly, he had taken Norway to the greatest World Cup finish in the nation's history. By the time they were eliminated, American fans had completely fallen in love with the giant Norwegian, who looked like he belonged in the NFL just as much as he did on a football pitch. Now, Haaland's performances made people respect him, but it's his personality that made people fall in love with him. In an era where so many superstar athletes sound like robots repeating the same PR-trained answers, Haaland was the complete opposite. He was funny without trying to be, weird in the best possible way. He was honest, humble, and completely comfortable laughing at himself. American sports fans absolutely loved it. After Norway beat Ivory Coast to reach the round of 16, Manchester United legend Wayne Rooney, who was working as a BBC pundit during the tournament, questioned whether Norway could keep their dreams alive. Then he made a promise.
If Norway get to the quarterfinals, I'll go on the River Mersey and I'll roll down it.
Okay, you heard that here first.
A few days later, Norway stunned Brazil. The moment the final whistle blew, Haaland remembered exactly what Rooney had said. He gathered every single Norwegian player in front of the television cameras, the squad sat down in a line on the grass, and began pretending to row an enormous Viking longboat all the way into the quarterfinals. In his next YouTube vlog, he looked straight into the camera with a huge smile and jokingly called Rooney out.
So I'm looking forward to see Wayne boy. Wayne Rooney said he was going to row if we went to the quarterfinals. Wayne Rooney, I expect you to go out on a rowing trip.
The internet couldn't get enough of it. The joke became so popular that even Google joined in. During the final weeks of the tournament, anyone searching for Haaland was greeted by an animated fleet of Viking rowers sailing across the screen. It was exactly the kind of goofy, unscripted moment that American sports fans love. Haaland was just being himself, and that made him even more popular. One of the smartest things he did during the World Cup was something almost no other superstar was doing. He picked up a camera. While most national teams kept fans at arm's length behind closed doors, Haaland invited millions of people into his daily life through his YouTube channel. Instead of polished interviews and media-trained answers, fans got to see the real Haaland, and they couldn't get enough of it. His videos felt less like official documentaries and more like a video produced by your favorite content creator. Maybe I'm your favorite creator, right?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
One vlog, Haaland Takes Over America, pulled in millions of views as fans followed him exploring host cities, eating the enormous American meals that makes these guys so fat, and joking around with his Norway teammates. Then came the biggest hit of them all. His Norway vs Brazil vlog exploded online, attracting more than 9 million views. It gave fans a behind-the-scenes look inside the dressing room before and after Norway's famous win over Brazil, showing emotions that not even television cameras ever captured. When Norway's dream finally came to an end, Haaland uploaded one last video, the final 24 hours of my World Cup. The vlog showed him saying goodbye to North America before returning home to a hero's welcome in Norway, including meeting with the Norwegian royal family and even a surprise appearance from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. By the way, Haaland coming home with that raccoon doll reminded me of Thor with Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy. The searches for Haaland's name exploded across social media, while clips of his best moments spread across millions of phones around the world. His Instagram following jumped from around 40 million to more than 60 million during the tournament, making him one of the fastest growing athletes on the planet, behind Vozinha, the Cape Verde goalie. His reels generated hundreds of millions of views, while millions more followed his daily Snapchat stories to get an inside look at life inside Norway's World Cup camp. In an age where athletes are expected to protect their image at all costs, Haaland did the exact opposite. He opened the door, let fans into his world, and somehow became even more popular because of it. He also never acted like he was bigger than everyone else. While Norway were based in Texas during the knockout stages, Haaland fully embraced the local culture. Instead of sticking to his usual Viking image, he wandered around Dallas wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. I mean, the guy looked more like a ranch owner than one of the world's best footballers. The photo spread everywhere online, as people saw the Norwegian Viking officially becoming a Texan. His sense of humor only made him even more popular. For years, people had joked that Haaland looked like Shrek. Instead of getting annoyed, he leaned into it by posting a side-by-side picture of himself and the Green Ogre on his Instagram with the caption, "Selfie with my twin." Another viral moment came when a fan uploaded a picture of a strangely shaped green onion and joked that it looked like Haaland. Instead of ignoring it, Haaland jumped into the comments himself, replying with a popular meme of a dog rolling up a car window to avoid making eye contact. I mean, people couldn't believe that one of the biggest footballers in the world was spending his free time doom scrolling. He even tried going undercover while exploring New York City, putting on a baseball cap and dark sunglasses before posing in front of the city's busiest tourist attractions. The disguise didn't exactly work. And it's funny because around the same time, an old video from his YouTube channel suddenly went viral again. It was Haaland dressed up as Santa Claus, secretly handing out Christmas presents to children on the streets of Manchester without revealing who he was until the very end. There's also another video of him dressed up as the Joker, but once again, people knew it was Haaland. It reminded people that this wasn't something new. This had always been his personality. Fans also became obsessed with his relationship with England's Jude Bellingham. The two former Borussia Dortmund teammates were constantly laughing together before and after matches, even though they knew they could end up facing each other later in the tournament. TikTok was flooded with edits of these guys. By the middle of the World Cup, Haaland mania had spread everywhere. His celebrations were being copied all over social media. Fans dressed like him in stadiums across North America. Despite becoming one of the biggest stars on the planet, the fame never changed him. After one match, cameras caught Haaland carefully folding his jersey before handing it directly to a stadium kid worker, instead of tossing it onto the floor like many other players do. His biggest act of humility actually came after Norway's heartbreaking loss to England. Most players disappeared in the dressing room as quickly as possible after the final whistle. Haaland did the opposite. He stayed behind until almost 9:30 that night, making sure every young fan who had waited outside got a photo, an autograph, or simply a chance to meet their hero. He was the last Norwegian player to leave the stadium. In just 6 weeks, Haaland changed the way an entire country looked at the sport. For years, many casual American sports fans dismissed football as a slow game built around endless passing and not enough action.
Boring.
Come on, you schnorrers! Do something!
Halfback passes to the center. Back to the wing. Back to the center.
Haaland changed that perception. Every time he stepped onto the pitch, you felt like something exciting was about to happen. He had the size of an NFL tight end, the speed of an Olympic sprinter, the finishing of an all-time great striker, and the personality of someone who genuinely enjoyed entertaining people. He had created millions of new fans. Kids who spent the summer watching Norway's incredible run suddenly wanted to wear Manchester City shirts with number 9 on the back. Families who had never followed European football now want to watch City games on the weekend. For Norway, it was the greatest World Cup campaign in the country's history. For Haaland, it was the tournament that turned him into a global icon. Because yes, he might not have won the World Cup, but he did conquer America. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will love this one too. Check it out right here.